Bennett,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now 21 cases. Just since 2020, possession 1 to 4, unauthorized use, possession 4 to 200, 21, evading arrest, felony theft, felony assault, felony possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, now 24, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, assault, unauthorized absence from correctional facility, PCS, now 25, just for 25, PCS, unauthorized use, and now you have an evading arrest.
Those guys.
Stop. I didn't ask you to say anything. You missed court, and now you're here. If you ever miss court again, and let me tell you something, Mr. Price, I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. If I find that you are one iota of danger to it, it's really not going to go well for you. Do you understand me? You're now charged with evading arrest or detention. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Thank you, Judge. On April 14th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, an officer was patrolling the area of 999 Pasadena Boulevard, the Macro Plaza Mall. The mall is closed during the early morning hours when this incident occurred, and no maintenance or cleaning personnel were on scene. 999 Pasadena Boulevard is near 1202 Pasadena Boulevard, which the officer knows from training and experience to be a high drug area. The officer observed the defendant standing near a mechanical box on the side of the main building of 999 Pasadena Boulevard. The defendant looked at the officer, who was in a marked patrol unit, and began walking toward his bicycle, which was laying on the ground nearby. Due to the above circumstances, as well as defendant's suspicious behavior, the officer initiated a subject stop on the defendant due to reasonable suspicion. The officer activated emergency traffic lights and began sounding the siren of a marked patrol unit. The defendant continued to ride his bicycle away from the officer, standing up on the seat of his bicycle to accelerate faster. The defendant eventually fell off the bicycle and continued to evade on foot until he fell in the roadway of the 900 block of Pasadena Boulevard. The defendant evaded the officer for approximately 736 feet.
The hell was he doing wrong? Riding a bicycle while white? He's not doing anything. Just presumptive police. No. Mr. Price, I'm going to find that there's no probable cause in your case today. We have enough death, dismemberment, and danger in our town as it is. Don't create any more. Be a good person. It's not hard. Get a job, do something with your life before something, or you end up with a 25-year sentence. It's lickety split. Something happens. Life is too short to end up in a 6x9 with a 25-year sentence. You know what I mean? Really. Please take a seat. Mr. Aguilar, you're charged with failure to stop and give information, striking a highway fixture. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You're also charged with theft, a Class A misdemeanor where you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Law enforcement officer spoke with the complaining witness, who stated that on April 2nd, 2025, he parked his truck in his company's parking lot, locked the truck, and when he returned the next day, his tailgate was missing. An employee of the complaining witness searched Facebook Marketplace and found a tailgate that matched the complaining witness's stolen tailgate and had recently been published. The law enforcement officer executed a sting operation to purchase the tailgate from the defendant, the seller, on Facebook Marketplace. He paid the defendant $140 for the tailgate. The defendant was subsequently arrested. The complaining witness stated the price to replace the tailgate was $1,117.65. The defendant stated he buys the tailgates from a friend for $75 and resells them for typically $300 to $400.
We have him taking the actual tailgate, right?
Yes, Your Honor, that's what it says. Well, it has him as the seller of the tailgate.
Yeah, I didn't take the, Your Honor.
Stop. Don't say anything. You have the right to remain silent. Exercise that right.
Yes, Your Honor, it has him as the seller and that it was recently published 2 hours ago on Facebook Marketplace. But those are the facts as far as the dim summary goes.
It says here that this defendant did then and there unlawfully appropriate by acquiring or otherwise exercising control over property, namely a tailgate owned by Jonathan Smith. Did he take the actual tailgate?
Your Honor, there are no facts alleged in the Dems that he knowingly took the actual tailgate. However, the tailgate was in his possession and under his control.
Sure.
And he was the seller on Facebook Marketplace. There's no information in the Dems, though, that represents that he was the actual individual that stole the tailgate. In fact, when the officers interview him, he says that a friend, he buys the tailgates from a friend and then resells them on Facebook Marketplace.
Are we to assume that he knows that they're stolen? You know, he's charged with theft, right?
Yes, Your
It's a specific independent crime. So if he's selling stolen property, somehow there has to be evidence that he knows that it's stolen. How do we know that he knows it's stolen? We don't operate on hunches.
Your Honor, there is also an allegation, or it's alleged in the Dems that the defendant told the law enforcement officer that he was aware the tailgate was stolen.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Thank you. It's my fault.
Mr. Aguilar, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward in the theft case. What about the failure to stop and give information?
Failure to stop and give
Let's see. We need to do probable cause on that one as well, please.
Good, Your Honor.
Yep.
Law enforcement officer was following up on this case in the original report. The defendant's vehicle struck a metal gate at an apartment complex. A witness looked out her window and saw the suspect vehicle and photographed the driver and passenger as they exited the vehicle. Law enforcement officers ran the plates and had the vehicle and owner information. The law enforcement officer later observed the defendant's vehicle in front of the residence. The vehicle had significant damage to the hood. The law enforcement officer made contact with the driver, the defendant. The defendant was ID'd to be the vehicle owner. The defendant stated he loaned his vehicle to an acquaintance he only knows through Instagram. The defendant showed the law enforcement officer the man's Instagram named Go Get a Veil. The defendant claimed that this man needed to borrow the car to pick up a girl. The defendant stated he would obtain the man's real name and provide it to the law enforcement officer by the end of the day. The law enforcement officer was not contacted by the defendant again. The law enforcement officer took a still shot on his body-worn camera of the defendant during the conversation. The law enforcement officer later compared the photos and saw the defendant was the same as the photo from the reportee. The law enforcement officer attempted to contact the defendant and could not. The apartment complex's estimated damages are $2,000.
Got it. Mr. Aguilar, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. Can you tell me if he has a license to drive, please? Texas driver license.
John, can you check that on Aguilar?
Don't. I know that you are itching to say stuff. Don't.
Oh, no,
You
no,
have the right to remain silent. Exercise. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever you say, they're going to use it against you. So
Yes, sir.
just now's not the time to fight your case. You will have the opportunity to fight it. Just now's not the time. I want you to understand, Mr. Aguilar, I will do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs, including property. And if I find that you're a danger to my city, I'm going to lock you up and I'm going to make your bond so high, you'll have hair falling out.
Yes,
Do
Your
you
Honor.
understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me what time of night was, do we know the theft of the tailgate? Was it in the middle of the night?
So it was reported around 5 p.m. That's the only information we have, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to pick up any new cases, not to have any contact with the complaining witness in the theft case, not to go within 200 feet of where they live or where they work. Do not pick up any new cases. You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name, and that is also a bond condition. If I find
Here,
it,
the judge draws a firm line. Repeat, DWI offenders no longer get a slap on the wrist. He even calls releasing the defendant with time. Served the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting different results. This is what proactive justice looks like. Steep fines, mandatory education programs, victim impact panels, and ignition interlocks. The message is loud and clear. DWI is preventable, and excuses don't count. What's your take? Are strict penalties the best deterrent, or should the system focus more on rehabilitation than punishment?
if I find that you're driving without car insurance, likewise, you will go to jail. That's it. If I end up revoking your bonds for one thing or the other, they're probably going to end up around 10, maybe 15,000. And if you don't have anyone to pony up that kind of money, you will be stuck like Chuck in there until this case is over. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are going to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. After that, you'll be free to go. Don't be a danger to my city. Do you understand me?
I understand.
Come on.
Judge, for what it's worth, my client, assuming the court's okay with it, would like to apply for an driver's license after this. And we'll be working on getting those documents together if the court's inclined.
I don't know about doing a time served. He just had one dismissed and he's back now, right again with another DWI, and it's a point and it's above a 15. I mean, really?
Sure.
We're still going to continue to do the same thing over and over and over? No. I know you're saying no, but here you are yet again. You had one dismissed, a year and a half ago. Now you're back on another one. It's above a 0.15.
If you got an occupation, the court could order some level of treatment, Judge.
He has to do treatment as part of it. So what we do is we'd have him T-RASed, but if I accept this, I'm sticking him with the fine. I'm not going to let him go without the fine.
Would you impose a fine on the probation?
No.
Let me talk.
Talk to him. It's 4,500 as well, too. No, I'm sorry, 6,000. I need you to understand that in life, right, we're not going to continue to hope and pray that something bad doesn't happen. We sometimes have to take proactive measures to ensure. You just had one dismissed. You've now picked up another one. If I were to plead you to time served, another proverbial slap on the wrist, and now we're going to let you go out there and hope that you don't kill someone or maim someone or you don't pick up another one, No, that's like the definition of insanity, wishing that something, over and over, just with a different result. No, this is proactive because here we can see what the issue is. We don't want you to come back with another DWI or much more kill someone because, look at the news. Every day someone dies from a DWI, and it's just not fair when it's so freaking preventable by one damn button on your phone. How much money have you spent on both DWIs so far where one button and a $40 fee would have gotten you from A to B? You know what I mean?
Sir.
That's now what we have to do to intervene in hopes that you learn from this so it doesn't happen again. So you've worked out an agreement where they're offering you 1 year in jail and this to be probated for 15 months. As part of this, you will do a repeat offender DWI education class, a victim impact panel, a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what are the conditions you may need, if you need other conditions. If they assess them, you must fulfill them. No drugs, no alcohol, no breath test refusal, meaning that if you're pulled over, an officer asks you to submit a breath test, you must do it while you're on this probation. Guardian interlock, 25 hours of community service, and a $100 one-time donation to Mothers Against Drug Driving. You have children.
No, but I have a 13-year-old brother that relies on me.
If he does a parenting class, then I'll consider the community service way.
Thank you, Judge.
The idea, all we want is that you learn so that you, in 20 years, this has made enough of an impact on you that you think twice. Oh man, shit, that was such a bad experience. I don't want to do that again. It's either jail or it's a crap load of fines and fees. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you ever have a problem while you're on this probation, all you have to do is come back, let us know. We can work through anything. There's nothing too big, nothing too small. But the worst possible thing you can do is drive without a license or insurance, start using, or pick up another DWI.
Sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
The other thing that if you just take off, abscond, that's also it's an instantaneous warrant. If you violate this probation, that's what we do. We issue a warrant. We have a hearing to determine whether you violated it. If you do, you're looking at an entire year. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You give up the right, you're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty to this offense, this is going on your record now. It'll be there for the rest of your life. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
From now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. You ever pick up another one. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to tell you now, you get pulled over, an officer, the first thing they do is they look at your record. They're going to see DWI, DWI. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to harass and harangue the hell out of you? Every time you get pulled over. And if they smell anything funky, it's probably not going to go well. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Is it true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above in this case?
It's true.
True to the enhancement. All right. How do you plead to the office? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to follow this agreement. I'm going to send you to it. I'm not going to suspend your license now, but I'm going to tell you, can you look up his license, please, to see if it's suspended?
Judge, I'm sorry, I missed his name.
Arredondo.
It is not eligible, Your Honor.
Okay. So you will be signing a non-driving affidavit. If you drove here today, you are not allowed to drive home. Your license is suspended as of this time. If we catch you driving without a license, I'm going to lose it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do not drive. You are required to have a guardian interlock, and every officer, because we send notice to DPS, every officer in the state knows if they pull you over and you don't have an interlock, you're going to jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's for the traffic, right? That's why he's ineligible, right? So
I
traffic.
believe so. I took care of those yesterday. So.
Judge, I believe his license may be showing ineligible due to a traffic ticket. If we can get that sorted, can we come back and?
I'm okay with an occupational as long as he's in compliance, okay? The other thing is this, is he is now taking a subsequent DWI education class. DPS is probably going to suspend your license regardless because of a subsequent DWI education class, if you've already taken it. Did he do a diversion and it got dismissed? As part of the diversion, you have to do a DWI education class. Subsequent ones get your license suspended. So I would check with DPS first. Don't just start driving, when you take care of that ticket, because they're going to probably suspend your license again. And this time it may be like a 2-year suspension. I'm okay with an occupational as long as he's in compliance.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he has an interlock first. Okay. All right. So we're going to have you meet with Shatoria for all your conditions, and then good luck to you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chimayo.
Good morning. Good morning.
Charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 27 days in jail with credit for the 9 days that you have done. You need to understand that this charge from now on will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. From now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days for any new cases, at least with DWIs that you pick up. You ever get pulled over again, officers will see this DWI and they roll up to your window and they smell alcohol, or if they smell dope, it's probably not going to go well for you. So I would never get into a car and drive if you've even had a sip of alcohol. Do you understand?
¿Lo entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Meaning, once you plead guilty, this goes on your record and it will be there for the rest of your life.
Mira.
Is this what you want to do?
That's it.
Yes.
Is it true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above breath test?
¿Verdad o no verdad?
Verdad.
True.
I find that it's true. I'm now going to sentence you to 27 days. Give you credit for the 9 days that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck to you, sir. Thanks.
Judge,
Gracias.
I was appointed to this case about 8 days ago, Judge, and I don't believe sentencing status has changed since then. Can we ask the court to waive the DPS fee? Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Con la grabación.